why do we resistance train when our goal is fat loss? Okay, it's something I get asked, and I see get asked quite a lot, is why do we essentially lift weights when our goal is fat loss? Okay, so a lot of people will say, okay, why can't I just do cardio, or why does everyone do both? Why can't I just do this? Whatever. You can just do cardio. You don't have to lift weights to achieve fat loss. Essentially, cardio is where you create the deficit. So remember, to achieve fat loss, you need to be in a calorie deficit, and resistance training, the main principle is not to kind of burn calories. You will burn calories, okay? You probably won't burn as much as you think, but the main kind of priority when we train is, especially when in a fat loss phase, is to kind of maintain that muscle mass, okay? So beginners, when you're in a calorie deficit, you may find that you kind of increase your muscle mass. People who have lifted weights for a while find it very, very difficult to increase your muscle mass when in a calorie deficit, okay? Because to build muscle, we need to be in a calorie surplus. But the reason we do lift weights when achieving fat loss is because we want to maintain that muscle mass. And the reason muscle mass is important is because having a higher amount of muscle mass increases your basal metabolic rate, which again creates half, or if not more, of your TDEE. So we'll add, to your calorie amount. So the more muscle mass you have, the more calories you're going to need, and especially when you're lifting weights, okay? As well as that, when we resistance train after the sessions, especially if we've had an intense session, your body will continue to burn calories, okay? So it will continue to burn calories to get back to its original state, its homeostasis, okay? So an intense session will continue to burn calories after the session for hours and hours, okay? So it's not just going to be in that session. So don't think of a resistance training session as your main source of burning calories. Your cardio and your activity, that's where the large chunk of your calories will be burned. So if I asked you to kind of think of your ideal body, or even pick somebody like a celebrity or a public figure or whoever who has the kind of body composition, shape that you want, I can almost guarantee they will have some sort of muscle mass, okay? So having that, to reach the look you want while achieving that fat loss, resistance training will kind of create and sculpt that look for you, okay? Remember, you can't tone a muscle. The way you tone a muscle is you will lose fat, decrease body fat, and basically the muscle will show through, okay? So also, as well as getting stronger in the gym, everyday life's going to be a little bit easier. Walking up the stairs is going to be easier. Getting up off the chair is going to be easier, okay? Carrying your shopping around is going to be a lot easier, okay? So don't underestimate how much it will carry over into everyday life, okay? So having a good mixture of lifting weights and cardio, that's your ideal kind of training, especially when you're achieving fat loss. Cardio doesn't necessarily mean you have to stand on a treadmill or walk on a treadmill or run on a treadmill or sit on a bike, whatever. you can go out for a walk, you can go outside for a bike, okay? Any sort of activity. But resistance training is just as important, okay? Essentially, to reach your fat loss goal, create a deficit. But like we've spoke about, having that muscle mass and maintaining that muscle mass will be very important to keep you progressing towards that fat loss goal, okay? Because remember, if muscle mass starts to deteriorate, you're not going to need as many calories. So you're going to have to eat less and less food. So bear that in mind. And if you're creating a big deficit through activity, it's going to get difficult, okay? So I hope you found this useful. Kind of probably waffled on a little bit, but resistance training is very important when achieving fat loss. If you have any questions or anything else like that, let me know, drop me a message and we'll go through it.